the record button. But yeah, so I'm going to record this, and I'm going to be putting this out to the cancer groups and such, because this is just absolutely crazy information. And you know, as everybody knows, we are the Kong family, and we have this really simple goal of changing the world, and we are doing it. We're making it happen every single day. We get to watch the effects of lives changing. As if you change your life, you can change other people's lives as well. And you know, we're doing it one glass of hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, incredibly hydrating Kangen 9.5 at a time, as my good brother Sean Wetzel would say. And one lightning bolt in a box, one incredible family, one incredible episode of the show, one incredible passage from this book right here at a time, kids. This is freaking amazing, and it's just absolutely mind-boggling to, you know, really learn. I always knew that fluoride was a poison, but I had no clue just how bad it is, and just how disgusting the whole story behind it is. It's just, gosh, I'll tell you what, you guys, it was mind-boggling. So anyway, I got a huge day going on today, and so I'm going to get right to it. We're going to get right to this and get after it. And by the way, because I forgot to hit the record button, get back in here, lumberjack. My brother Paul Nelson from up in Washington. What part of Washington are you from, Paul?
Central Woolley.
Yeah, there
Good
we
morning.
go. Yeah, he's in town. He came in for a visit and spent the night with us last night. It was fantastic. We got to hang out on the deck and in the cool breeze, and yeah, it was a great night. And yeah, happy to have Paul come into town and join us for a night. And so any of you guys ever get down here to Utardia, you need a place to shack up, you go ahead and just jump on in. We got you covered.
Great hospitality.
Yeah, so anyway, kids, we're going to go ahead and get this show on the road, man. I got to get back here to this fluoride section. And what this is it's part of the book that is the do nots. You know, these things are things that you simply do not want to be doing. And let me get back to the fluoride section. Okay, here we go. This is the section right here of the book that's called, oh, let's see, are you going to be able to read it? Yeah, hopefully you can read that. But it's Tap Water, Fluoride, and Chlorine. And so, yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and read from this. I hope you guys don't mind me reading. But I'm just going to be reading small sections of this book at a time. I've got like 3 pages to read here. Yeah, one, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages to read. So anyway, I'm going to roll through this, kids. But I'm going to go ahead and get rid of those things. So anyway, tap water, fluoride, and chlorine. I would never drink regular tap water unless it was an emergency. The story about municipal water systems and the poisons that inhabit them would require an entire book to explain and document. The evidence, hang on one second, you guys, I gotta shut this door. My better 99%, she's up there sleeping and I don't want to be waking her up with my loud, obnoxious voice. So anyway, okay. The poisons that inhabit them would require an entire book to explain and document. The evidence of tap water toxicity is overwhelming and readily available for your personal or for your perusal on the internet. Go see for yourself. The cancer risk among those drinking chlorinated water is 93% higher than those who do not. See the quote below. You know, there's a quote down below that I'll be telling you about. So anyway, most tap water also contains fluoride. Fluoride is a byproduct of the aluminum industry, is a deadly poison, and is added to our water systems because of a decades-old fabricated report stating that it was good for the developing teeth of children. Totally false. Research it yourself. You'll find the truth. No, fluoride is poison. Make no mistake. Listen to the following from Gary Knoll, PhD, in his report entitled The Fluoridation Fiasco, Poison in Your Water, from the website of Jeff Rentz at www.rentz.com/help/fluoride1.html or HTM. It might need to say HTML. That might be a typo. But anyway, here's his quote. For decades, we have been told a lie that has led to the deaths of hundreds of thousands of Americans and the weakening of the immune system of tens of millions more. This lie is called fluoridation, a process we were led to believe was a safe and effective method of protecting teeth from decay is in fact a fraud. Truth is, kids, pretty much everything about government is just a ginormous freaking fraud. Anyway, that's definitely a discussion for another day, but you're going to get a piece of that fraud right here in this here story today. So, in fact, a fraud. In recent years, it's been shown that fluoridation is neither essential for good health nor protective of teeth. What it does is poison the body. We should all, at this point, be asking how and why public health policy and the American media continue to live with and perpetuate this scientific sham. Click on that web address above and read the whole story. For additional data on this very controversial subject and the revelation of the truth about fluoride, also see the following sites: www.holisticmed.com/fluoride and www.just-think-no-f.htm. This deadly toxin is also added to most toothpaste in the form of sodium monofluorophosphate, or just plain sodium fluoride. Read the back of the tube. It instructs you to contact a doctor or poison control center if a pea-sized amount is swallowed. Friends, why would you use this cancer or not? And why would you let your children use it? Find a toothpaste that has no fluoride. I use several different natural no fluoride brands and sometimes use non-aluminized baking soda, Bob's Red Mill, or try tooth soap made with organic extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, distilled water, and pure essential oils. Yes, it's a little more expensive than your ordinary poisonous toothpaste at $29.95 for 6 to 8 week supply, but well worth it. Find this product at www.toothsoap.com. Good morning there, Brother Wetz. HooDeeHooo! Good to see you, man. Hopefully you had a great weekend. It seems like you got the kids and all that, did you?
Yeah, I had them for 4.5 days, so I capitalized on every bit of it and was exhausted at the end.
Awesome, brother. I know it always does you a lot of good. You can just see the sparkle in your eye whenever you get to be with your kids. Look who showed up.
Hey, you beautiful Amazon.
What? What's up, Nelson? You jumped off a tree and down into Utardia? You might not ever leave. I love it down there.
It's awesome, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah,
not to interrupt at all. Forgive me. But yeah. I had to hop on, just emptying my car. I got home late and just left everything and went to bed.
Yeah, good for you, man.
Yeah, man.
So yeah, I'm reading from Killing Cancer Not People here about the fluoride section, fluoride and chlorine, because last night when I was reading this for the first time, it just pretty much blew my freaking mind. You know, I've been studying the corruption of government for a long time, 26 years to be exact, and this might be one of the most corrupt things that government has ever perpetrated on humanity, and especially the American people, because it's just absolutely disgusting. But You know, I haven't even
Fluoride?
started yet. I still got 4 more pages to read. So this is good stuff, though. Anyway, okay, so I'm going to move on. So Christopher Bryson has written what I consider to be one of the most revealing exposés on fluoride and its history in America that has ever been done. It's called The Fluoride Deception. He pulls no punches, offers no apologies, and presents just the facts supported by reams and reams of documentation. My interpretation of his work is that fluoride is so incredibly dangerous to the human body and its longevity that it should be banned from any human contact. Wow. The research supporting his claims is overwhelming and entirely indisputable. And yet, and still, fluoride is being added to the toothpaste that our children and most adults ingest twice a day and to most of the water that comes out of taps in America's household. Tell me, how is this possible? You must listen to a few paragraphs of what Chris documents regarding this deadly poison. Quote, next time you confront yourself in the bathroom mirror, mouth full of foam, take another look at the toothpaste tube. Most of us associate fluoride with the humdrum issue of better teeth and the promised fewer visits to the dentist. Yet the story of how fluoride was added to our toothpaste and drinking water is an extraordinary, almost fantastic tale. The plot includes some of the most spectacular events in human affairs. The explosion of the Hiroshima atomic bomb, for example. Many of the principal characters are larger than life, such as the father of public relations, Edward L. Bernays, Sigmund Freud's nephew, who was until now more famous for his scheme to persuade women to smoke cigarettes. And the twists and turns of the fluoride story are propelled by nothing less than the often grim requirements of accumulating power in the industrial era. The same raw power that is beating heart or beating is the beating heart of the American century. Fluoride lies at the elemental core of some of the greatest fortunes that the world has ever seen. The almost unimaginable wealth of the Mellons of Pittsburgh and the DuPonts of Delaware. And no wonder the warning on the toothpaste tube is so dramatic. The same potent chemical that is used to enrich uranium for nuclear weapons, to prepare sarin nerve gas, and to wrestle molten steel and aluminum from the Earth's core is what we give to our children first thing in the morning and last thing at night, flavored with peppermint, strawberry, or bubble gum. Fluoride is so muscular a chemical that it has become the lifeblood of modern industry. Pumped hotly each day through innumerable factories, refineries, and mills, fluoride is used to produce high-octane gasoline, to smelt such key metals as aluminum, steel, and beryllium, to enrich uranium, to make computer circuit boards, pesticides, ski wax, refrigerant gases, Teflon, carpets, waterproof clothing, etched glass, bricks and ceramics, and numerous drugs such as Prozac and Cipro. Fluoride's use in dentistry is a sideshow by comparison, but its use in dentistry helps industry too. How does it work? Call it elemental public relations. Fluoride is so potent a chemical that it's also a grave environmental hazard and a potential workplace poison. So the industry-sponsored scientists who first promoted fluoride's use in dentistry, linking the chemical to better teeth and stoutly insisting that in low doses it had no other health effect, helped to change fluoride's image from poison to panacea, deflecting attention from the injury that factory fluoride pollution has long wreaked on workers, citizens, and nature. I know you had no idea. You know, you don't know what you don't know, right? Not many of us who do when it comes to poisons like fluoride, because we staunchly believe that our government would not deceive us by burying truth under layers of lies. Fortunately, when you remove those top layers, those very thick layers that are hard to lift and want to slap right back down on top of you, those enormous layers that are steeped in deception and fraud, you uncover, to your wonderment, the inner layer of truth that both puzzles and surprises you because it is fresh, smells good, and looks right. Pursue that inner layer, whether it's concerning fluoride or some other idea or substance that stinks to high heaven. That inner layer, find it, no matter what it is. As Mr. Bryson's pursuit of the truth, or in Mr. Bryson's pursuit of the truth, he discovered how this industrial poison, fluoride, really and truly afflicts the common man and woman, you and me, and gives a prime example in the next paragraph. Thousands of men and women are stalked by fluoride in a modern workplace, yet blinkered to its toxic potential, according to Molinex. In 1998, she met former aluminum workers from Washington State whose health had been ruined by fluoride. These men are between 30 and 50 years old and have replaced knees and shoulders. They have leukemias, thyroid problems, and soft tissue diseases. I've never seen such a bunch of young, pathetic people with such health problems. I just don't see the outrage. They are just putting them out as old men and bringing in younger men over and over and over again, she said. Are you beginning to get the picture here? Continuous fluoride contact and consumption equates to sickness, disease, and death. It then just remains a question of how fast the reaper arrives. Simply put, you would not drink chlorinated, fluoridated tap water ever, and neither should you. Oh no, it says, simple put, I would not drink chlorinated, fluoridated tap water ever, and neither should you. At this time in history, when other mechanisms are available to treat our water effectively, safely, and more economically, ozone, hydrogen peroxide, sodium chloride, and others. It's truly amazing that our government chooses poisonous substances instead. Yeah, well, it's not surprising. It might be amazing, but I'll tell you what, it ain't surprising to me, kids. It's about money, folks. Please chew on and digest this next statement that comes to us from the following great website, www.healthynewageage.com/chlorine-cancer.htm. We don't use chlorine because it's the safest or even the most effective means of disinfection. We use it because it's the cheapest. In spite of all our technological advances, we essentially still pour bleach in our water before we drink it. The long-term effects of chlorinated drinking water have just recently been recognized. According to the U.S. Council of Environmental Quality, cancer risk among people drinking chlorinated water is 93% higher than among those whose water does not contain chlorine. Along these same lines, and regarding something that we just don't think about, is that most of us like to take hot showers, especially in the winter. You guys, this part is absolutely freaking brutal. This is something we need every person that is, living in chlorinated water. They need to hear this. This is crazy right here, man. Most of us like to take hot showers, especially in the winter. Unfortunately, we fail to realize that toxic chlorine is absorbed through our skin, our largest organ, and even more importantly, into our lungs. When the steam from the hot water is inhaled, it goes directly to the lungs, which have abundant blood vessels. The chlorine in the steam is immediately absorbed into the bloodstream and spread throughout the body. The result? You have just poisoned yourself. And most people innocently poison themselves in this fashion every day. The solution is a $30 to $50 filtered shower head that will eliminate the chlorine. These are available at most hardware or big box stores. Whether I had cancer or not, I would get and install one of these. You know, that $30 to $50 solution, kids. That's a solution, but it's not the best solution. And you know, it's the cheapest solution, and that's probably the one that everybody will, you know, most people will go with. You know, R&S spa is a much better solution, but it's obviously quite a bit more expensive than 30 to 50 bucks. But you know, at worst case scenario, kids, you should look at going and getting one of these fluoride filters for your shower and install one of those. And so that actually concludes the part about fluoride and chlorine. And you know, it's kind of interesting because the next section of this particular part of the book is about aspartame and NutraSweet. And I think we're going to save that for another show on another day. But this section of the book, I want everybody to know, is called What You Must Do First and What You Must Stop Doing Right Now. This is for people that have cancer. That, you know, this is one of the first couple chapters of the book. And, you know, he's talking about all these different things that you simply must stop doing now if you want to get rid of your cancer, if you want to not get cancer, if you want to, you know, turn your cancer around. And there's a whole bunch of different subjects in here that, you know, I'm going to save them for, you know, I can't read the whole book to everybody. People need to, hopefully what's going to happen with these episodes is that people are going to be curious and they're going to want to read the whole book. They're going to want to learn what they can do. But that part right there about fluoride and chlorine, you know, the part about taking the hot showers and having that steam going into your lungs, and literally, like he said, it just goes throughout your entire body. It's poisoning the living crap out of all of us if you live in a place that has chlorine. You know, I'm fortunate as all get out here where I'm at. My little water department doesn't put any chlorine or any fluoride in our water. And so we're incredibly blessed in that regard. But most of the municipalities here in the great state of Utardia, they have abundant amounts of chlorine and fluoride in the water. And so, you know, for those of you out there who have chlorinated water and fluoridated water, you know, apparently there's a lot of different kinds of fluoride, according to the filter doc. There's not just one kind of fluoride. And, you know, the word is that the electricity in the Kangen water machine destroys that fluoride. But there's actually a test that I'm going to be doing here one of these days. I'm going to do a special edition of the show from Kong's lab, and I'm going to demonstrate how you can test your water to find out whether it actually has fluoride in it or not. And, you know, interesting little tidbit along this line is that you know, my people that run the water department here in White City, they assured me that they don't put any fluoride or any chlorine into the water. But I was reading a water report that I just got from them, and it said that there is some fluoride in our water, and that it is naturally leaching fluoride. It comes out of the ground naturally. So that's kind of interesting. It's a very small amount of fluoride, but I need to do this test now, especially after reading this section of the book. I think if I don't find a guest for tomorrow, I'm going to probably come live maybe just a little bit later, you know, maybe about 9:30 tomorrow morning or 9:45 tomorrow morning, go live from Kong's lab, and I'm gonna do that test that the filter doc gave me the information on. And, you know, so the thing is, guys, you know, Cody, I see you're out there, buddy. I hope you're listening to this. You know, every time you take a bath, every time you take a shower in your fluoridated and chlorinated water, you're freaking poisoning yourself. You're poisoning your children. You need to get your Kong machine, brother. You need to get it. You need to make it happen. I know you almost made it happen a little bit back, but You need to make it happen, dude. Listen to this stuff. Make sure you watch this recording if you didn't get to hear all of that part about when you're taking a hot shower in chlorinated water, you're freaking poisoning the hell out of yourself. And you wonder why in the hell you got these issues. Why the heck do we have all these health problems? Well, we're simply poisoning ourselves. And, you know, the cool thing about it, you guys, is it's entirely preventable. All of this stuff is entirely preventable. This heinous freaking disease right here that shouldn't even exist in the first place, it's entirely preventable, you guys. It's why it's my biggest freaking pet peeve in this world, because not one single person on this planet should be dying of cancer. You know, I mean, literally, they shouldn't even be suffering from it, let alone dying from it. It's just ridiculous. It's freaking biggest crime against humanity that's ever been perpetrated. And it pisses me off. You know, I hope you can feel the pissed offness in my voice, because I am pissed. I'm tired of government being able to get away with this bullshit. And I'll tell you what, if we want to change the world, this is an area we really have to focus on. We need to get people to understand this and realize what the hell is taking place, so that we can put some, you know, I was shared out something on Facebook last week about some court case or something like that. We're having to go to court to get fluoride banned in water supplies all over the country. Well, that's a great start to get fluoride out of there, because it's obviously a horrendous poison. But, you know, we're freaking putting bleach in our drink water and bleach in our freaking shower water. You know, I mean, it's just crazy. I never even thought about that concept of the steam, the chlorinated steam that you're breathing in and going directly into your lungs, and that's the fastest route to your entire body. It's freaking crazy, you guys. So anyway, hey Sean, what do you think about what you just heard? Do you have any comments?
No, I mean, I share in your frustration. The fact is, you know, we're just not paying attention. We are buying into the indoctrinated Kool-Aid of the machine, and it frustrates me, because people will question me, our technology. They'll question all this stuff and how it doesn't do this and that and the other, but they won't question these things that have been proven to have existed for their lifetime. You know, so it's like you can't, stupid is as stupid does, man. You cannot, you know, beat some people over the head with the truth. They don't want it. You know, so I really love the fact that anybody out there that's really paying attention, that wants the truth, man, hopefully this is just ringing and dinging and singing in their head as to, you know, the necessity of this stuff. I remember I read something, and I posted it a while back. It was several years ago. The amount of fluoride-related deaths in the last 30 years, and this was maybe 5 years ago, but the number of fluoride-related deaths in this country had outnumbered all the military deaths this country has sustained since it formed. And when you're talking about millions of people, and we don't make that connection to, you know, what we're dealing with, what we're doing. And I realize fluoride is naturally there, and it's pretty non-invasive from what I understand in the naturally occurring capacity. But to add it, you know, just dial into what you read from Bob's book. I mean, that should be a how-to book for everybody on the planet that's dealing with any of this stuff, you know. That book should be mandatory for every Kangen water distributor out there.
Yeah, amen.
Because it's again, we can only, you know, it's a health and wellness device here in the United States. We got to be clear about that. It's a health and wellness device, but it's a medical device in other countries around the world, particularly the country from which it was designed and created for a reason. You know, their standards are higher for medical device certification. They don't hand them out like Halloween candy over there. And, you know, we've got to stick with the health and wellness product, but to have a health and wellness product that does what this does, right from anybody's sink, right from anybody's shower, you know, it's an automatic to me. It's a no-brainer. But again, we are already on the other side of truth. You know, the truth is that process. You know, people will question it, and then they'll violently oppose it, and then ultimately they accept it. But, you know, again, I've had 5 people die in my world that are within 10 years of my wheelhouse, you know, 5 below or 5 older. So basically from 45 to 55, I've had 5 people in my world die in the last 3-4 months. Heart attacks, strokes, and, you know, it's frustrating. Because, you know, you're talking to those people about the stuff we're doing, and you talk to people about the stuff that they're drinking and they're consuming, and, you know, they're just dismissive. You know, I've got a buddy of mine, and I don't know, because it's just been tough, but yeah, we just lost somebody right here in my world here in Stevi recently, and it's one of the best human beings that you'll ever meet. You know, and it's just tough to see how people just don't respond to it until it's too late. You know, and then I have people, hey, you know what, man, I got to tell you this. You want to talk about fluoride and all that stuff? I got my buddy in Spokane. He's had eczema for years, since high school. He's in his late 30s. He was my most recent machine acquisition. This kid has had eczema all over his body for 20 plus years. 2-3 weeks. That stuff's clearing up. He has just jumped into a phone booth of how he feels, how he has just minimized all the nonsense that he's doing. And it's just crazy how just by changing his water, his whole life is just flipping upside down for the better, you know. And, you know, obviously the Anespa is crazy, but it's like we saw at the Kongwana store down in Vegas, you know, those Aqua Splash cartridges from Multi-Pure. Do you remember those sitting on Fred Brown's shelf? They're little, they're for they're shower heads. And yeah, those things are fantastic, you know, and that's why I do Multi-Pure as well, you know, because of the filtration capabilities. Even if we can't do the hot mineral waterfall spa showers that the Anespa has, the necessity of getting the chloride or the fluoride and the chlorine out of your shower water is critical, you know. And again, yeah, from the breathing, you know, I read that when I first read his book, and that blew my mind that we're breathing chlorine, and, you know, just the long-term effects it has to, you know, our lung development and our lung health. You know, you just wonder how many people are dealing with lung cancers or COPD or any of these types of things that has some direct consequence to what we're breathing in the form of chlorine.
Yeah,
so
and fluoride.
You know, I like your angle on it. I think getting people's attention, it takes the pressure off you, you know, because we're sitting here telling people, and a lot of times people in our world, you know, hey, we don't have a lot of credibility, even though I've had credibility most of my life from everybody, you know, that I've ever met and gotten to know. But when it comes to this, you know, it's interesting how many people balk, how many people scoff and go, oh, yeah, water, ooh, you know, yet it's so simple, and they're complicating it with their just disregard for the things that they're doing, you know. And then they're coming to us later on once the wheels start coming off. It's an interesting dilemma. It's very interesting. But again, I just realized, you know, why we're doing this and why we're trying to wake people up, because it's critical that we start taking absolute control of our health and quit leaving it up to the sick care establishment, you know. I mean, we're just so naive and so trusting to think that we can just eat, live, drink, have the lifestyle we want, and when the wheels come off, the medical industry is going to fix us by giving us drugs from big pharma that are pimping the medical industry, And then it's all financed by the insurance industry, and we're all wondering why we want universal health care.
Yeah.
We're being set up to fail. And they're being set up to make absurd amounts of money. $3 trillion. $3 trillion we spend.
Yep.
You know?
People wonder why we have this healthcare crisis. It's literally because these health issues are being created. They're literally being systematically created, and it's we can't ever expect to get out of it, ever expect to get on top of it, unless we nip it in the butt. We got to get rid of all these poisons and all this bullshit that's being put into our waters and into everything. It's just it's a horrible death spiral. It's literally our government is committing genocide against us. And it's just sickening, and people need to frickin' pull their heads out and understand what's going on here. This is horrible, and it's completely, every bit of it, this is what pisses me off so much, is every single bit of it is entirely preventable through a good diet and through good water. And when I'm talking about good water, I'm not talking about H2O, kids, because H2O, I don't care whether it's perfectly clean or not. It's a very slow, acidic poison. They call it the universal solvent for a reason. It freaking causes your body to eat itself. The technical term is called catabolization. That's when you eat yourself. Cannibalization is when you eat somebody else. You don't want to do that either.
Right.
But
let me help you understand this too, bud. Just a thought as we were talking about the pharmaceutical stuff. There's a lot out there too that is substantiating the absolute reality that the trace pharmaceutical drugs in our water systems are being recycled and put back into our water system. Now you think about it, people are either taking a lot of pills and they're processing it and they're urinating and they're eliminating it, and it's going right back into the toilet water and drinking water are all coming from the same deal. And you think about the people that expired medications. What do? They flush them down the toilet. It's like Oblivion 101, And so, we're without this technology, without proper filtration, without the ionization process, man, we're taking other people's drugs by virtue of the water sources we're getting. And if we think we're going to be coy and go buy bottled water with all of its, lack of regulation and absolute lack of accountability in that industry, what are we doing? I just talked to a buddy of mine, man, young kid. He just turned 30. I was giving him some love yesterday. He called me up. He's got a family, and I've been talking to this kid for a while. And he called me up, and he wants to start exploring it. So I got to start sending him some things. I got to send him some good information just to get his attention. But he's ready to party, so I got to send him the things that he needs to really go over the top with it and understand it. I asked him, I says, okay, you personally, how much are you spending a day on pops and energy drinks and all that? Are you spending $5 a day? Oh yeah, easy. Me personally, easy. I'm like, you could spend $540 a day for the next 730 days or 2 years, and you'll never have to pay for this for your family, yourself, for anybody for the next 23 plus years. So I love it when the light goes on, and the light's going to continue to go on as more and more people want to wake up to the truth. They're out there. Some of them are just really obstinate and stubborn.
Yeah.
But others are just oblivious. We cannot help the oblivious. We can't help those that are thinking that, Barack Obama or, Donald J. Trump are going to save us with their politics. We put so much emphasis into politics and all these things, none of which we're doing anything to control or to really speak to. People love to get involved in things that don't really we're just on the outside. We're just tippy-toeing the argument because at the end of the day, there's no accountability. Well, I didn't vote for him, or I didn't, it's like we are not thinking for ourselves. We are not thinking in our immediate wheelhouse of how can I protect my family? Politics aside, state of current events aside, the world affairs and struggles aside. we're not thinking down to the core of what we can do for our people. And everything you're talking about here is exactly that, man. I mean, you're just basically giving everybody a big news flash from what Bob Wright was gracious enough and diligent enough to put together in the form of this book. And all we can do is throw passes out there, and the ones that catch them, they run to the end zone. The ones that don't, catch it in the back of the head and wonder why they're struggling. You know, you can't catch nothing if your hands aren't up. So I'm just getting more and more coming to the realization that I'm throwing passes. And if you can't catch it, if you don't put your hands up to catch it, I'll never throw you another pass. You know, if it hits you in the back of the head and you're not even trying to catch my pass because you're running from it, well, then I can't throw you that pass anymore. You know, we've got to stay focused on the people that are willing to catch our passes. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
You know,
Amen,
that
brother.
minimizes the frustration, that minimizes the, you know, flat out anger you have for, you know, just seeing people go through what they go through and nothing changes and their quality of life deteriorates, you know.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, dude. But, you know, I've got to get moving because I've got a
Me too.
bit going on today. But I wanted to let you know something. I thought you'd really enjoy this news. I got a phone call from Steely Dan.
Nice.
And he was flabbergasted. He said, I went into my doctor for my normal doctor visit, and my blood pressure was 118/90.
Oh, man. God
He
bless it.
said, I can't even remember the last time my blood pressure was 118/90. And that's only after like 2 weeks of drinking the water. He goes, and he's not even drinking that much of it, but he's drinking it from the K8. He's getting that, you know, his blood is flowing, and I told him it doesn't surprise me in the least, brother. I'm tickled as all get out to hear that, and that's what I expected to hear. So I'm freaking happy as all get out for you. He's happy, and he wanted me to tell you how much he loves you. He said you were an absolute treat to meet. And he's like, yeah, man, that big old stork. He's a freaking awesome dude, and it was just an absolute great thing having him here at the house. And so, yeah, buddy, you got another new friend in Las Vegas. Anytime
He's beautiful.
you got a place to stay. And I just figured I'd let you know that our brother Steely, his life is already turning around
God bless him.
from drinking Kong's water for a couple of weeks. 118/90, baby. That's
insane.
all I got to say right there. 118.
That's absolutely beautiful.
For you kids who don't know my buddy Steely Dan has had 4 open heart surgeries. He's got 1 lung. He's got 1 kidney. He's 74 years old, and he's still kicking. He's still an ornery, happy, excited cuss. And he just decided, because of, interestingly enough, one of the main things that got him involved with Kong and Water was the episode of the Kong Family Show where we had Bob Wright on the show. I sent him that recording and said, dude, I pray that you'll watch this. And he watched it, and after watching it, he called me up and said, I guess I'm going to have to get one of these Kong and Water machines. And he went from somebody who was maybe thinking about getting the Junior to someone who bought a K8. And he bought a filter system, an incredible filter system that scrubs out fluoride and all the chlorine and everything. And so, yeah, I'm really tickled for him. And that's the thing, you guys. That's what this whole thing is all about, is we're changing the world. And you know, Steely Dan is just another one of those people whose world has changed. Your friend with the eczema, that's another person in the world whose world has changed. And that person's going to go out and change other people's worlds. And that's how we're going to do it. We're going to change the world. And before I just close this out, Rachel, the awesome genie from Canada, joined in. And Rachel, did you have any questions or anything you wanted to add before we head out of here?
I just actually caught the end of you guys. I was busy making forts with blankets. So I don't really have any questions other than I caught your blood pressure info there, which is pretty interesting. Because my husband has actually been on blood pressure medication, and he's only 44, right? So sorry about the racket in the background.
Yeah, well, make sure you get him, hopefully he'll continue drinking water. Hopefully you can get him to listen to this episode. You guys are on a well, so you probably don't have to worry too much about chlorine and fluoride. I don't know. But, man, the discussion we had here today was about fluoride and chlorine. And when you think about what happens in a hot shower, when you're taking a hot shower with the steam, and you're literally breathing in steam that's got chlorine in it, steam that's got fluoride in it, and it goes right to your lungs, goes right into your bloodstream, and gets distributed all out throughout your body. It's amazing what a crime it is that government is able to put chlorine and fluoride. It's literally genocide being perpetrated by our government against our citizens, and we have simply got to get the word out there. As Ed Griffin says in the end of this book, can you do any less for others? I can't do any less for others. I got to do this. That's why this is such an incredible mission of mine. This is why I'm so passionate about it. This is why I can't shut up about it. This is why I throw up on people over it, because I just can't help it. I can do no less for others. We are the Kong family, and we have a very simple goal. We just want to change the world. We are changing the world. And Sean, would you tell everybody how we're doing that once again?
1 glass of hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, absolutely, supremely, indubitably hydrating Kangen water at a time. Can I get an amen from the Kangen congregation?
Amen.
Baby. And, 1 lightning bolt in a box, 1 incredible family, 1 incredible guest, 1 incredible episode at a time, 1 amazing book, 1 incredible thing at a time, kids. We have got a mission. We're not going to stop until it's accomplished. And we love all of you. Thank you so much for being here today. We hope you found some value with today's episode. We'll be back tomorrow again for a little bit more fun. I think tomorrow I'm going to do a fluoride test, and I'm going to show people how to test their water to find out if it's got fluoride in it. And I'm going to be testing not only the water that's coming out of my Kangen water machine, but I'm also going to be testing my own water and the water that's coming out of my tap. And so I want to find out about that, and I want to share what I find with the Kong family and with the world. And so, you guys, as usual, do not forget your hugs and your HooDeeHoos. Yes, we love you so much. Go out there, change the world, starting with your own, and make it a great day. Love you guys so much. We'll see you guys all tomorrow.
Have a good day, guys.
See you guys.